One of them.
It's our fat ass. No, she's two. She's the size of two cats. She is our fat ass children.
She's still not even the size of two cats. She's still small.
She's the size of two of the other cat.
Listen. Do you have two Gatorades?
Listen. I am a little bit hungover from this morning.
It was this morning.
Yeah. And then the alcohol left my system. I did not properly replenish it with water. Therefore, I'm a little dehydrated.
So what did we do this morning that left you hungover?
Well, before we get into what we did, why don't we mention who we are? That's right. This is another episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcasts. I am one of your hosts, Billy Beck.
I am the other host, Codie Beck.
And this is a podcast where we read books that were turned into movies and watch movies that are based on books. And this morning, before we get into today's subject matter, this morning we went down to High Tops in Los Feliz and tried our best to enjoy a 9:30 Angel City FC away game.
Oof.
That we lost 2-1.
Could have been worse. I will take scoring a goal over not scoring a goal.
When you play the reigning champions in their building, and you take a game to them, and you keep it within a goal, and it was a close game. Possession was about 50-50 most of the game.
Are we including the ref in that? Because
the ref, how many times she touched the fucking ball? It was 49-49 too. But, I thought it was a good game from the girls, just finishing wasn't quite there. Their goalkeeper had some brilliant saves, as did ours. It could have gone the other way on a different day, so I'm not going to be upset about that performance. I'll be upset about the result, but not the performance. And that's why I'm hungover.
Because you had two good jujus.
And like half your cider.
You had like a third of my cider. It was a big can.
It was. It was a good cider, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was mighty dry.
Mighty dry. It's like a towel-based superhero. Oh no, I spilled my gusher juice. Never fear, 'tis I, mighty dry. Sound of towel flopping on. Can we get the Foley in here? Can we do this in post? We gotta...
Well, it was dry, but at least it wasn't dusty.
We're not there yet. How's your week been otherwise, Cody? Because I did shit this week.
The week was good. It is, as of recording, my birthday was this week. So, we went out to dinner, and tomorrow we're gonna go spend some time at a cat cafe and cheat on our children with proper cats. She looks so upset.
So you had a good birthday overall?
I did. I did have a good birthday overall. We went out to a local restaurant for dinner, and I tried it's a tiki restaurant, and it's Hawaiian themed. I won't say the name so you can't find us, I guess, or whatever.
It's not like we live there.
That's true, but it's local.
Yeah, local in LA could mean anything. We're not giving directions to our home from the entrance to the tiki place.
Still, I'm not going to say the name of it.
All right.
But they have, I mean, you could probably just Google it from the name of the entree. Whatever. They have something called an Aloha Pizza, which is like a disc of deep fried rice. And then they put spicy tuna and I think avocado and eel sauce and spicy mayo on top of it, along with a mango salsa. They also chop up a strawberry and throw that on there, and I wasn't sure about the strawberry.
Made the dish.
It really did.
Weirdly enough, that was a killer meal.
Yes.
Like volcano edamame, always good. I had my spicy tuna roll.
They had the chicken gyoza.
Chicken gyoza was good, and we had tempura fried fruit.
Yes. That was, we did not realize was as hot as it was until we had both put a piece in our mouths.
Tempura immediately fried before serving. Like...
It was just a lot of...
But the bananas they used were like candy bananas. Like they tasted like runts.
Mm-hmm. I don't know which one. It's
either Cavendish or...
Grosjean?
Maybe?
Something like that.
I don't know. Cavendish is the one I remember, but I don't remember which one is which.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had them good nanners.
Yeah.
A good day. Good day. So last week, we asked our audience if they lived in Hell's Moving Castle, what 3 real-world locations and 1 fictional location would they make their doors go to? And we heard back from a few people. Mark, as always, he would like one door to be somewhere in, if you're not going to say the name of the restaurant, somewhere in the neighborhood of Los Angeles in which we reside, which is very sweet. The second is down the shore. I assume he means the Jersey Shore. The third one is Paris, specifically the 18th... Oh, this is French. 18th arrondissement near Montmartre. Could I have said that any Americaner?
No, probably not.
I'm
not going to correct you.
I don't want to be corrected. That's what he wrote, and he did not say it out loud. And his fictional door is Springfield from The Simpsons.
Springfield West. Where do they live again?
North Tacoma.
North Tacoma. That's what it is.
And in a shocking twist, we also heard from our mother.
Yay!
And she would like her 4 doors to be Maui. Good choice. Sitka, Alaska. Good choice. London, England. Good choice. And the one I have an issue with. Heaven. Now, I get where she's coming from, but heaven is a real place. That's not a fantasy. We wanted your fantasy doors, Mom.
Okay, but also, like, which heaven? Are we talking Christian heaven? Are we talking Buddhist heaven?
All don'ts go to heaven. That's a good point. That's a good point. We talk about the good place heaven?
Okay, good place heaven would rock, though.
I don't want to spoil this for people who haven't seen the show, but the good place in the good place is kind of shit.
By the end of it, it's great.
By the end, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Spoilers for a 5-year-old show.
Yeah, but that show like lives on its twists and its turns. That's a great show.
Strong recommend for that, by the way.
Absolutely. Speaking of good places, let's talk about a bad place. Let's talk about Oklahoma in the 1930s.
Oklahoma, where the wind goes sweeping from the plains.
And the waving wheat, it doesn't grow, and we have to move to California.
Actually, I think it's cotton. Cotton is the problem.
The problem is that nothing is growing.
Yes, but the problem is that they grew cotton for too long and it stripped the soil.
The problem is that we haven't specified that we're talking about The Grapes of Wrath. That's right, John Steinbeck's 1939 novel that we all had to read in high school and promptly forgot, except for one paragraph towards the end.
I had actually never read. Wow.
You've never written it?
I've never written it. Nope,
Cool.
Not even once.
Really, John? It's got your name on the cover.
I have never read it until now.
Wow.
The only Steinbeck I was ever required to read was Of Mice and Men and the turtle chapter from Grapes of Wrath.
The only things I remember from reading this were the turtle chapter in the last paragraph. Because I was a teenage boy when we read this.
Of course you were.
Which I did have to read this in high school. We were assigned a summer essay. Mm-hmm. and we could choose between The Grapes of Wrath
Ew.
or Farewell to Arms.
Oh, good choice. Correct choice.
I chose Farewell to Arms.
Why?
Because it was shorter.
Ugh.
And I didn't want to have to read as much on my summer vacation.
Yeah, but you had to read Hemingway.
The problem was then I had to read The Grapes of Wrath during the school year. That kind of backfired on me a little bit.
Shot yourself in the foot.
I had to read them both eventually. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my summer as much as I can. And the less time I spend reading, the more time I spend summer enjoying. So I read it then.
We should put a pin in that comment for when we're talking about the next episode.
We should. And then the movie. This is a weird one because I feel like our audience... Well, probably more of them will have read the book than seen the movie, and that doesn't happen too often on the show.
Yeah, I feel like with this one, that makes more sense.
And I think that's what we were going for with the summer reading list.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, I did see the movie a few years back. I think it's in the AFI Top 100, so I read it when I was watching through those. Mm-hmm. And,
you read it, or you watched it?
I use subtitles, Cody, so both. At least I didn't claim to write it.
Listen, I didn't claim. I just can't speak.
You know what else can't speak? A trailer. It's fun. It's fun searching Grapes of Wrath trailer on YouTube because the grape stomping lady is like the thing that comes up.
What's the grape stomping lady?
You've never seen the grape stomping lady?
No.
Oh my god. Yeah, you have to have.
Are you ready?
You ready to try it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Not disgusting.
Let's
All right,
go.
you ready? Give us a 30-second time. Here we go. So what's the deal here? There's a contest to stomp, and how are you measuring who does the best stomping?
And whoever stomps the most shoes wins an overnight stay, but it's not the only thing you can do.
The measuring cups are down below, right?
Measuring cups are down below.
All right. And if you win, you get to stay at Chateau Elan. And what else do you have going on here?
Well, if grape stomping's not your thing, you can come and spend the day listening to live music, eating international foods, having wine tours and tastings, vineyard tours, seminars, arts and crafts. It's a lot of fun, a whole day. Stop. Oh,
I've heard the noise before, but I've never heard it.
She took a hard fall off there. Boy, gosh, I hope she's okay.
Oh gosh, I hope she's okay.
As they're both tackling. Oh. I've heard that before. Never actually seen the video of it.
It's been a minute, dude.
It's gonna be okay.
I'll be alright.
Sure?
Anyway. Let's watch a trailer.
Sweeping across the country comes one of the great literary achievements of our time. A human, revealing, soul-stirring story that instantly becomes the most discussed novel of modern literature, The Grapes of Wrath.
The Grapes of Wrath, please. I'll have to put you on the waiting list. We've never had such a demand for a book. Do you have a copy of Grapes of Wrath?
Sorry, we're all sold out.
Yes, The Grapes of Wrath. Well, send me as many copies as you can. I can't supply the demand.
The Grapes of Wrath.
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 The Grapes of Wrath. As sales skyrocket, The Grapes of Wrath becomes the book of the nation. Everyone, everywhere, joins in the discussion of its vital problems. Due to this unprecedented popularity, producers vie for the motion picture rights. And finally, 20th Century Fox announces the purchase of the book and plans for its immediate production. A storm of discussion arouses the nation. Speculation and rumor are rife to the effect that no producer will venture to film this great dramatic masterpiece of human hearts. Darrell F. Zanuck, production head of 20th Century Fox Studios, emphatically announces that The Grapes of Wrath will be made. All of the resources of this vast studio are marshaled for the production. John Ford, Academy Award winner, is given the directorial assignment. The cast is carefully chosen to make John Steinbeck's unforgettable characters come to life. Tom Joad is played by Henry Fonda. Maud Joad is played by Jane Darwell. Casey is played by John Carradine. Grandpa is played by Charlie Greatwin. Rosa Sharon is played by Doris Bowden. Paul Joad is played by Russell Simpson. Al is played by O.Z. Whitehead. Muley is played by John Quaylen. Connie is played by Eddie Quillen. And now, at last, The Grapes of Wrath is ready for the screen as the motion picture captures all the drama, suspense, action, tears and laughter of the story that stirred a nation.
Do you have a copy of Grapes of Wrath?
Sorry, we're all sold out.
Yes, The Grapes of Wrath. Well, send me...
I'm so sorry. I thought I clicked trailer, not history of.
Yeah, that felt like a newsreel.
It did, but, you know, the history of how the movie came to be as well as... I find it fascinating that that trailer highlighted that there was a bidding war for the rights to this book.
Well, so before you get into the bidding war, do you know how many copies this sold in its first run in 39?
According to that headline in the trailer, 300,000 copies.
483,000 copies.
That is more than that screen told me.
483,000 copies at $275 each. At the time, that was over $1 million. If you translate that to today's money, that was $26 million in its first run.
That is fucking insane. Especially considering it's a movie about, you know, the Depression, that thing where no one's got fucking money. And it's about how no one is paying workers to do their jobs, and people are still spending their money on this book. I like how they highlighted that there was a bidding war for it, and part of that trailer was how are they going to make this into a movie? Because the subject matter went against what people in power wanted to reach the public, shall we say.
He has a veiled reference to William Randolph Hearst.
Does that mean we could do Citizen Kane next? Like, if you want a veiled reference to Hearst.
I said veiled, not obvious.
What was I saying? Yeah, to the point where in 1939, 1940, I think it was Kern County, California, banned the book outright. Which was made difficult considering every library copy of the book was already in the hands of a patron. And sales of the book were through the roof, like you heard. They couldn't keep the book on shelves. And it almost Streisand affected because the ban was pushed forward by...
Farmers Association?
The Farmers Association of California and another agency or group. I can't remember. I don't think it was governmental, but it was another, you know, capitalist fucking firm. And they Streisand affected the book, and this county that can't keep it on the shelves is being told to ban it. We need to go buy a copy and read this and find out what's going on. And it's in the... Oh, good.
I was going to say, even today, it sells an average of 180,000 copies a year.
Well, how many kids are in school?
Fair.
But that's all going on. The banning of it and that effect is happening while they're making this movie. The movie comes out in 1940. That's 1 year after the book came out. The Dust Bowl in Oklahoma, you know, the centerpiece of this story. Well, not really. The inciting incident of this story, the Dust Bowl, lasted until 1940. This was happening. This was a contemporary work. And it's kind of hard to remember that when you grow up. Oh, you need to read this classic piece of literature for school. It's hard to remember the context in which it was written is the context it's about. And that adds so much
It's like reading a book written today that's about... It's like reading a book in 2021 that was written about the COVID pandemic.
And they're making a movie about it, but the government's trying to ban the book.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense talking it out why that trailer is basically a newsreel, because this was newsworthy shit. Hey, this book is fucking nuts. Everyone's reading it, and we're making it. You're gonna be able to see it. We put Henry Fonda in this shit. We put John Carradine in this shit. You're gonna come out and see it. And I think that's fascinating. And they went for it in the production. We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but they went for, like, veracity in what they were shooting in a number of different ways. But before we get into that, we should probably talk about what's the content of this book, huh?
We should.
We should.
The book and the movie are pretty similar, with the ending being the main difference. Mm-hmm.
So I did write out a summary.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the summary, and then we'll talk about the changes real quick.
Okay.
All right, so Tom Joad, fresh out of jail on parole, returns to his family farm in Oklahoma. Conveniently, his 4-year sentence coincided with the Dust Bowl, so instead of returning to a healthy family and good job on the farm, he returns to a vacant home, a retired preacher, and the knowledge that they've been kicked off the land. He finds his family the night before they depart for California in search of work. Along the way, their hope fades as Grandpa and Grandma die, their jalopy routinely breaks down, and other migrant workers share horror stories of their time looking for work out west. On arrival in California, the Joads set up camp with other migrants, all hungry and desperate for work, but some have become wary of promises from the wealthy businessmen with job offers. After a cop shoots a lady and the preacher takes the fall, the Joads depart the camp and find their way to a ranch where they will pick peaches. They work a half a day at a decent wage, but that night Tom learns from the preacher that the wages are only what they are because the ranch is trying to break a strike. Shortly after, strike breakers kill the preacher, and Tom returns the favor and returns to his family. The following night, they sneak Tom off the ranch using the newer, lower wages as an excuse for leaving. After another breakdown, the family stumbles on a government-run camp, which promises running water, showers, decent campsites, and other human decencies, like no cops. The Joads settle there, becoming members of a community that outsiders refer to as, quote, dirty Reds and, quote, filthy communists and, quote, other words that I'm sure aren't approved by the Hays Code. After preventing a riot that would have allowed police into the camp, Tom learns of an impending warrant for his arrest, so he departs the family under the cover of night. The Joads then continue north under the promise of 20 days of legitimately contracted work, gaining hope through their resiliency built through their hardships. A real hopeful little movie about overcoming the odds as a family. And how's the book different?
So it's pretty much the same up until we get to the peach picking. They actually go to the government camp first. They go straight from the Hooverville to the government camp. The Hooverville being the name for the migrant camp that people that popped up because of Herbert Hoover's policies.
It was not called that in the movie.
So they come across the government camp first, and they stay at the government camp for about a month. They prevent the riot. At the time, the only person who can get work is Tom. So the rest of the family is looking for work but can't find it. And so they hear about the peach picking, and they go up to that camp. Same thing, strike breaking. Preacher gets murdered. They leave pretty much the same way, and they end up even further north, and they're picking cotton. And Tom is basically hiding out, living in the river, and they're sneaking food to him. There is a massive flood, and this is while the pregnant daughter is having her baby, who dies. Unclear if it died in utero and she gave birth to a stillborn, or if it died as a result of the birth. But they then end up leaving the flooded out cotton farm and stumbling across a barn with two sick with a sick man and his teenage son in it, and the pregnant Rosa Sharn breastfeeds the man, and that's the end of the book.
And when you give this book to a 13-year-old boy and tell him to read it, that's the paragraph he's gonna remember. Yeah, it was something when I watched this movie for the first time, because I'm like, how are they gonna do that scene? And they don't, obviously. But realizing how, like, this movie partially radicalized me the first time and re-radicalized me this week. Tom Joad did nothing wrong. Like, this movie is just fucking incredible with just the way it tells the story of the plight, and just the way fucking capitalism beats down on this family from start to finish. One of the like most notable lines is towards the beginning when Muley, who's
He's a neighboring sharecropper.
He's a local in Oklahoma who's kind of off his rocker. He refused to leave his family, and he's just staying on these now abandoned farms until they chase him to the next one, essentially. But he recounts in the film the story of his family getting kicked off their land. And I think it's his dad's out there with a shotgun talking to the man who owns, like, is he government? Who is that guy?
He is another local Oklahoma boy, but he's contracted to drive the tractor.
No, there's a different guy earlier. He's a rich guy in
the banker?
I think he's like a local, he's a representative from the bank, that's right.
Yeah.
And he cocks his gun at this guy who's telling him to get off his land. And the guy's like, hey man, don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. I just work for the guy at the bank. He's like, all right, so I'm going to go down to the bank and I'll shoot him. He's like, no, he's just doing what the board of directors tell him to do. And he's like, all right, well then I'll get them. And oh no, they just answer to the whims of the bank in New York. Well then who do I shoot? I don't know. It's the despair of like, I need to react. My family's losing our property. Who do I even blame? Who do I point the barrel of my gun at? I'm willing to take that step, but there's nobody to kill over this. It's just the machinery. The gears of capitalism are just grinding away at everyone until they're dust. And that's literally how the Dust Bowl came to be, was just overworking land. Reusing the same land for the same crops over and over and over until there was nothing left in the soil and nothing would grow. And then you couple in, the storms you get in Oklahoma, and you get dust storms, and it just destroys everything. And there's no way that you can continue to grow on this ground without doing major, rework. You're killing. It's just, that's all because they wanted a few pennies more per fucking apple or whatever you're growing.
The exchange in the book goes, where does it stop? Who can we shoot? I don't aim to starve to death before I kill the man that's starving me. I don't know. Maybe there's nobody to shoot. Maybe the thing isn't men at all. Maybe, like you said, the property's doing it. Anyway, I told you my orders. I got to figure, the tenant said. We all got to figure. There's some way to stop this. It's not like lightning or earthquakes. We've got a bad thing made by men, and by God, that's something we can change.
So the book ends more on a hopeless note than the movie. And I'll talk about why in a minute, because there's reasons why that had to happen, so to speak.
Yeah, I feel like it's not hopeless so much as it's... Ma's big speech in the truck at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
So that's actually cobbled together from 3 speeches she has throughout the novel. And it's, when I say cobbled together, it's literally those 3 separate speeches put together, and put together into that speech at the end.
Yeah, sure.
Tom has a line where he says it does when they first get to California and they're about to cross the desert at Needles. The gas station attendant is like, "Oh man, I wouldn't have the nerve to do that desert in a car like this." And Tom's like, "It doesn't take any nerve for you to do what you have to do when you have no other choice."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what the book is saying, is that this stuff is going to keep happening because people don't have another choice. And they're going to do what they can to survive. Whether that means... But it also means that they're going to help each other out. Because that's also kind of the through line, is that the migrant workers are banding together by dint of they have no other choice. They're creating new societies, and when they're feeding the sick man at the end with Rosa Sharon's literal body, it's just gotten to the point where that's the only thing they have to offer.
Yeah.
But they're going to offer whatever they have.
And there's not that scene in the movie, but there is the scene with the when they first arrive at the Hooverville, when Ma's cooking stew, and like 20 kids just start to gather. And, like, we haven't eaten in days outside of just some fried dough. Which, I mean, I could eat donuts for days, don't get me wrong. But I don't think that's what this kid was talking about. And Mom makes sure her family's fed, but with what's left, and it's not a lot, she does her best to feed those kids. And it's still, like, that sense of, like, humanity. And the machine of capitalism has a human cost. It's shown in the novel and the film with Grandma and Grandpa. They are spent in that sense to get them across the desert. Grandpa almost immediately, and Grandma doesn't quite get there, but she gets buried in California still.
Grandpa doesn't even get out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, he barely makes it. He doesn't want to leave, and I think his heart breaks just the sense of leaving, and that is a cost. That is a death on capitalism.
Yeah.
As is Grandma, because there was no other way to make that journey. This is 1939. There's no airplanes. There's no air travel. Train travel isn't in this part of the country yet. It's Route 66, baby. All the way down.
And it's fascinating how, a decade later, 2 decades later, you've got that great migration that people are taking for vacations. People are using 66 as a vacation route now.
In the 50s, like, there's the famous song. You yourself, as part of your move to Los Angeles 10 years ago next month, drove part of this route. I remember the day you came in because you drove through Needles.
Yep.
And, like, that's... Granted, you were doing it on 5-lane freeways, not the 1-lane... Route 66, but it's still like that. It's a migration that still happens. Yeah. It's just not as treacherous as it was then. I like how the movie changed the order of the things to put them in the government camp towards the end.
Yeah.
Because, like we were saying with Who Do You Shoot? If this is something made by man, then it's something that can be stopped by man. And maybe it's propaganda. It's probably propaganda. But when they go into, like, this government-run camp, and they're like, we're not going to treat you unfairly. We're going to make sure that you have access to basic human necessities and aren't harassed just for being poor by the police.
And I think it's the cheapest camp they stay at.
Yeah.
Except for the Hooverville, which is free.
Yeah, the Hooverville's free, but there's nothing there. Like, this camp's, I think, $1 a week?
It's $1 a week. Every other place that they stay...
And they can earn the $1 by working the camp.
Yeah. There's another place where they stay. It's not even a campsite. It's just some dude's yard, and he charges everyone 50 cents for the night.
Yeah. It's... like that hope that I've lost in this day and age... that the government can save us from this. And, oh man, in 1940 that must have felt good, because we're just coming out of the Great Depression, the New Deal went into effect, people were finding work again.
I mean, honestly,
this was still... And then World War II happened, and that really pulled... And that's, I mean... I understand there are other factors. I'm not an economist here. We're high school fucking econ here. But yeah, like World War II, a few years later, got the war machine up in the U.S., got women to work as well as men. That has its whole other host of problems, in that now women want their freedom. And now that women are allowed to work, now women are expected to work, and the capitalists will pay us half. Because now there's 2 people working in a household, and not just one. So I have my problems. I have my problems with women in the workplace, and it's not what you think.
That's actually something that I want to talk about, is because as much care as Steinbeck puts into the character of Ma, he kind of uses the rest of the women as props. Rose of Sharon, as her name is pregnant for the whole book. Except for, you know, like
except for when she's not.
Yeah, except for the last chapters.
Is she pregnant when the turtle's crossing the street?
Yes. Because that's like chapter 3.
No.
So she basically, Steinbeck has some opinions about women's roles, I think.
Luna, do you also have opinions on women's roles?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know how much of that is also, like, the time.
But also,
that doesn't, like,
the thing is,
nullify
like,
it, but
even including the family unit is kind of a bold move on Steinbeck's part, because this type of story, you have, it follows the tradition of, like, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn and the travel logs, the travel stories that are always a dude finding himself in the wilderness. And he has to, like, go out and, like, fight things and masculinity and be a man. But in this, Tom is at his best when he's with his family.
Yeah.
And, like, he has to actively squash down his masculine urges to fight and fuck shit up because he knows it's going to ruin things for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that in and of itself is kind of revolutionary for this piece of literature, especially literature of this era. But at the same time, like, throughout this whole thing, Rosa Sharon is just a huge bitch. Yes, I understand that she is pregnant, and being pregnant is a fucking nightmare. Especially when you're, 16, 17, and this is your first baby, and you're traveling across the country on a shitty car.
There are better circumstances to be pregnant.
Yes. But she is just whiny and childish, and she's so, like, self-absorbed in the sense that, like, she's worried about everything happening to the baby. There's a character that's cut out from the government camp, who is basically a Bible thumper type lady.
Oh, fun. Like the lady in the mist?
Yes, actually. Really close.
God. Does she get shot in the head?
No.
Damn.
It's implied that she might be epileptic. She has some sort of disease that causes her to have strokes. Or not strokes, but like seizures, basically. But she comes and meets Rosa Sharon, and she basically says, your baby's gonna fall out of your womb because there's dancing at this camp.
She wasn't wrong.
And she puts that fear into Rosa Sharon. And it gets to the point where, like, Ma is finally like, I didn't hit you enough as a child. Like, I didn't discipline you enough, and now I'm gonna have to start disciplining you, because you're just feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah. And then you've also got Ruthie and Winfield, the 2 kids.
I was going to say, if you juxtapose that with the kids who are just kind of there along for the ride.
Yeah, they're more developed in the book as well. Because Ruthie's like 12 or 13 and Winfield's about 10. And it's definitely a sibling relationship, because, like, there's a point where every time they each do something wrong, they tell on the other one and then immediately beat the crap out of each other.
Oh, sibling shit.
Yeah. And, like, the ultimate thing that causes them to send Tom away is that actually Ruthie gets in a fight at the cotton farm. And she basically blabs that Tom has killed people to try to get this, because this girl steals her Cracker Jack. So she's like, my big brother can beat up your big brother. He's killed people. And they're worried that people will actually look into it. So that's what finally encourages Mom to send Tom away. But Ruthie's whole story, too, is she's kind of in this weird, nebulous position of being a teenager on the cusp of, like, becoming a woman at the time. And she has all of the, like, natural curiosity that a kid has at that time. But she's also kind of growing up in weird circumstances that no one really knows what to do. So she's basically feral.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every time that she has her own little story, it involves her getting hit in some way. Like her being disciplined or punished in some way for something.
But, like, not by Ma?
No, pretty, like...
Oh, by Ma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I think the last time we see her, Ma slaps her in the, like, flicks her in the cheek and she cries.
Good.
It's interesting if you extrapolate, like, that whole relationship, because you can see, like, Ruthie and Winfield... You can kind of see that they're also a metaphor for the migrants in general, because it's like even their own families, even their own people are like punishing them and trying to keep them in line.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the larger framework that doesn't know what to do with them, and so the only thing to do with them is to punish them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good read of that, actually. I like that. I got a little distracted there because I remember reading that the actor who played Winfield was the last surviving member of the cast. And I thought, oh shit, I didn't look him up. What's he up to now? Died like 2 weeks ago.
No!
Like May 22nd. He was 93.
Yeah.
But damn! So this one's for you, Daryl Hickman. This one's for you. So there's an actual, like, stated reason why the movie is more hopeful than the book.
Hays Code, baby.
Partially Hays Code, but I got this quote from, oh god, how do you pronounce this name? Nunnally? Nunnally?
Yeah, probably.
Nunnally Johnson? So I got this quote from the writer, Nunnally Johnson, who said, there had to be some ray of hope, something that would keep the people who saw it from going out and getting so drunk in utter despondency that they couldn't tell other people it was a good picture to see. Steinbeck agreed. So, like, it's something we can talk about, like, ooh, how does this make a difference? But he's straight up like, nah, people will kill themselves.
Do you know how long it took him to write this book?
Yes, you told me the other day, but I'll pretend I don't know.
It took him from May to October of 1938.
That is like 6 months.
6 months to write, like, the classic of American literature.
Just like the quintessential. It was happening. It probably wasn't that hard. It was happening around him.
As of, according to some of the background material in the beginning of the book, as of the turn of the century, 99, this book was ranked 7th out of, like, the top 100 most influential books.
Wow.
Gatsby was 3rd. Fitzgerald and Steinbeck are the only two authors that have 3 separate books on the that list.
Wow.
And Grapes of Wrath was his highest rated, and Gatsby was Fitzgerald's.
Yeah. Weird that Gatsby was more influential. I would think this. But maybe that's just my sentimentality.
Gatsby's shorter.
Nah, that's true. That's true. That's why I read Farewell to Arms in high school. But like I said, like, this was going around him while he was writing it. It was going around them while they were filming it. They wanted to make sure, and when I say they, I mean Fox, the producers, wanted to make sure that Steinbeck wasn't exaggerating. So they went to a Hooverville. And when they came back, they were like, oh, it's way fucking worse than he said. Oh, shit.
You know those famous photos from the Dust Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
The woman with the children around her?
Yeah.
I'll have to dig up her name. He used that as sources like she shot in Hoovervilles and in the Dust Bowl and everything else. And I believe this book came out 4 years after the worst summer of the Dust Bowl.
I think you're correct.
It was
like 35, I think, was the worst.
Yeah, I want to say they called it either Black Summer or Black Sunday, which was like the single worst storm of that era.
But yeah, to keep the veracity of that in the movie, John Ford banned makeup and perfume from the set.
Okay.
They're apparently in their tax filings, they did have a makeup person on file.
Probably
I assume it's continuity and the scarring, but publicly John Ford stated that they kept that offset.
I mean, they also said that there was no makeup used on the set of Pride and Prejudice 2005, so...
Fair. Go listen to our episode on Pride and Prejudice for more on that. Also, when they were filming some of the actual migration, some of the convoys of jalopies, they held up traffic and grabbed real people and paid them about $5 a car to be shot.
Damn.
Which, as we learned, that is like a week, 2 weeks wages picking fruit.
When they're picking cotton, they're making about $3 a day, the whole family. And it's the whole family that's picking. Except for, I think, at that point, Rosa Sharon.
Yeah. Which in modern money, I think, is about $60.
I think the conversion rate is like $1 in 39 money is equivalent to about $22 in today's money.
Yeah, it's about 65, 66.
Yeah. I spent $150 on groceries today for
divided by 8 people. And then divide that by 8. So if you're taking 66 divided by, 64, we're looking at like $1.10 an hour in modern day.
Yeah.
And they're working more than 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So it's less than that. That's fucking what capitalism does to workers. And of course now we have these wonderful protections in the US now, like a federal minimum wage for citizens.
Yeah, good thing we don't have any problems or issues with hiring migrant workers now.
Yeah, no, migrant workers, that was a Dust Bowl thing. There's no migrant workers now. Yeah, this shit's still happening, people. Modern day slavery is still happening.
We literally live in California.
This shit is fucking happening. We were talking this morning about Wendy's and the Fair Food Program. And the reason why we don't need it at Wendy's anymore is because they're not involved in the Fair Food Program, which is a program founded by the
Imalaki?
It's an indigenous group.
Yeah, it's a Florida indigenous group.
And un momento, por favor. It was launched by the Coalition of Immokalee Workers.
Ah, we had our L's and our K's mixed up.
IMMOKALEE. Which are based out of Florida. And basically the agreement that they want Wendy's to sign is to only buy from farms that use fair labor practices.
For the record, every other major fast food corporation, including McDonald's, Burger King, all of them have signed.
When McDonald's is part of this and you're not, you're fucking your shit up a little bit there, Wendy. Wendy, I did read their spokesperson's reasoning behind why they haven't joined.
Uh-huh.
And their reasoning is, well, that program is about outdoor farming, and we get our tomatoes from indoor hydroponic farms.
No, they don't.
It's like, are they fucking fair? Because that's the important part. That's why they want you to sign, so that you buy your tomatoes from a place that treats its workers properly.
Not only has Wendy's refused to sign this agreement, they also moved their manufacturing to a place in Mexico, or moved their factory farming to a place in Mexico that is known for not being fair labor practice. And if you're known in Mexico for not being fair labor practice,
Yeah, it's we've had Wendy's once in the last 8 years, I think.
I went before we found this out. I was going to Wendy's literally every day I worked for lunch.
Yeah.
Stopped cold turkey and we have been back one time since.
We had a moment of weakness. And you know what? Wasn't that good.
No.
Fuck you, Wendy's. But yeah, like, this movie is, or in this book, the story, The Grapes of Wrath, is so, like, ingrained in 1939. It is so of that era, but every scene of this movie, I'm like, ooh, that mirrors this thing happening today. Mm-hmm. Like, with migrant workers, with strike breaking, and with wages, like that kind of thing still happens where, you know, Amazon or whatever will offer, they'll be like, oh, we'll pay you $15 an hour. And you just got to walk by, like, the gaggle of people striking because we were only paying them 10. But as soon as they're gone and done, inflation's going to go up, but your pay ain't.
The way that the novel is written, which if you've been in high school since at least 1990, you've probably read the Turtle chapter. The way that the book is broken down, there's a narrative chapter, and then there's kind of an interstitial metaphorical chapter. Actually, that scene with Muley Graves, that's actually one of the interstitial chapters linked to him specifically. It's heavily implied in the novel that it's the Jodes that happens to. But it's also implied that, like, everything is said. It's said in such a way that it's like one of those things where it's happening so often and on such a scale that it could be the Jodes, but it could also have been one of thousands of other families.
Yeah.
It's general, the way that it's generalized, it's also deeply specific. But shit, where was I going with that? The through line with the interstitials is that everyone is butting, the tenant farmers and then eventually the migrant workers are kind of butting up against the unfairness of the machine. And I mean both the literal machines that are replacing them and also just the machine of capitalism. Mm-hmm. And especially once they get to California.
Is that the machine they're raging against?
I always thought it was a printer.
You're thinking of the movie Office Space.
I mean, when we went to that rage room and beat the shit out of that printer,
it was a lot of fun.
Great.
It was a lot of fun.
So the through line once they actually get to California is that they keep seeing this land that's just lying fallow, and it talks about how pigs are being slaughtered and the meat is being thrown into the ditch and covered with chemicals so that the starving people can't get it, and fruit's being left to rot on the ground because it's not being sold for the correct amount, and they want to drive up demand.
God, if that happened today, it would be like Ralph's hiring a security guard to guard the dumpster so homeless people don't get in and eat the day-old expired bread. Oh wait, that's a thing that fucking happens. Go on.
Doesn't Starbucks pour bleach over their stuff?
I don't know if they do that. That might be illegal now. Literally for this reason. But, like, Starbucks, I think, guards their shit. I know some... I know this was happening in England. I know that. I don't know if it's in the States yet. But there's an app in the UK where restaurants that have, like, leftover food at the end of the night will put it up on the app at, like, a highly discounted rate. So if you want dinner at 11:30 after your favorite restaurant closed, you might be able to get a bag of something. Like, just
that's actually a really smart idea.
Which is, like, they can still make some money, because they're just going to throw it away.
Yeah.
But also, like, there are groups then, once that app started, that would buy out everything a restaurant had and just give it to homeless people. Because then you're feeding 15 people for $20, or 20 quid. Bruv.
I know that there's, like, in the US there's the rise of the like pay it forward thing where it's like people will buy, specifically I'm thinking of, there's a specific pizza restaurant that I think was in Philly or Jersey where there was the dollar wall or whatever, where you would, when you paid, you could also pay for another plate, and they would basically stick something up on the wall and someone could come in, no questions asked, take it and hand it to the...
Yeah, I love that shit. Like, that's like the fucking point of this is as we are ground down, we will still look out for each other in our communities.
Yeah, the point I was making with the interstitials is that it talks about how I was reading you a little chunk of it last night where it talks about the children of the poor are literally dying of pellagra in the United States in 1939. And there's food rotting on the ground that they're not allowed to take.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how that's kind of the grapes of wrath. That's what's fomenting and creating that anger, is this general unfairness of, we have enough food to feed everyone, but someone's not making money on it.
Yeah.
And another Hollywood thing, just because we're thinking about it, we had the strikes last year.
Yep.
Were they over by the end of last year? Were they...
They were over by in the fall, I think.
Our whole lives, you've got movie theaters.
Yeah.
Which are making money on concessions.
Mm-hmm.
They're making money on the movies themselves. Well, the studios...
Not a lot.
Yeah, the studios are making money on the movies.
Yeah, they're mostly making their money on concessions.
And they have spent our entire lives, the studios have spent our entire lives trying to destroy the movie-going experience because they want it to shit out money faster.
Yeah.
And not even that much faster, just a little bit faster.
Yep. Like, there's a movie that I desperately want to see.
Acme?
Called Coyote versus Acme.
Yes.
That is completed. By accounts of pretty much anyone who's seen it, it's great. And WB is thinking, we can get a pretty big tax break if we just delete it right now.
Didn't they also do that with Batgirl?
They did that with Batgirl as well?
You know, the movie that fucking... Or was that the TV show that Ruby Rose ruined her spine?
No, it was the movie. Yeah.
You know, just cripple an actress and throw it away.
Just more of the human cost of capitalism. Just brutal, brutal capitalism. And do the people who want to see it get to see it? No. Do the people who worked their asses off to make it get to put it on their resumes? No. Because there's no evidence. It was never released. There's no evidence of it.
Yep.
It's worthless on a resume, because how can I tell that your work was quality? I can't view it. And it fucking pisses me off.
And it's because David Zaslav wants a bigger bonus.
Yeah, he wants another room on his castle. He needs to hire another migrant worker to clean his floors for 15 cents an hour, or whatever the fuck he's doing. For legal reasons, that was a joke. And not an accusation.
We haven't even gotten into the whole ACAB of it all.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about the scene where the cop just, like, shoots a lady? And then the other cops just make sure that they arrest somebody before they even call to help the lady they fucking shot?
So
the innocent bystander who was shot by a cop?
You know how brutal that scene is in the book, or in the movie?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
It's worse in the book, because he doesn't shoot her in the chest. She doesn't die. He shoots her in the hand. And it describes how she looks at her hand, and her fingers are dangling on by tendons.
And guess what happened to that cop? Fucking nothing. And guess what happened to that lady? She lost a hand and made no money off that. Because fucking... this shit still happens today.
What? There's police brutality in modern America?
Like, do I even need to...
Do we even want to bring up the fucking Kathy Hochul shit in New York that's happening now?
What shit is this?
There are strong rumors... I'm coming back over. Sorry, I wanted a beverage. There are strong rumors that Kathy Hochul is being basically pressured by the NYPD not to do congestion pricing. Because it would negatively affect the NYPD. You know the NYPD that has like an $80 billion budget a year?
But yeah, no, like I was saying, cops never kill anybody. George Floyd's fine.
Oh boy.
I was thinking like, oh, I'll just pull up a quick list of recent ones. And I found the Wikipedia list of killings by law enforcement officers in the United States. And then I went to the list of killings, and it was like, not pick a decade.
Is it pick an hour?
Not pick a year. Pick a month. Pick a month. You know what? Let's do May of 2024. Unidentified male in Lynn County, Oregon. Daniel Lewis, 27, Miami Gardens, Florida. Unidentified male, Jackson, Mississippi. Mustafa Ahmed Muhammad, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Unidentified male, Ontario, California. Unidentified male, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Unidentified male, Silver Spring, Maryland. Unidentified male, Prescott, Arizona. Michael Edmondson, Holly Hill, Florida. Kenneth Vickers, Rowan County, North Carolina. 2 more unidentified males in Indianapolis and Phoenix, Arizona. Jamar Franklin Robinson, Newton, North Carolina. I'm maybe a quarter way down the list.
What's the line? I don't know if the line is in the movie as well, but you and I both know a vagrant's just a man that the police don't like.
Yep. But surely that's changed now, nearly 90 years later. Whatever happened to that homeless camp down the street? By the way, unrelated. Just
which one? You mean
the one by the train station, or the one on the other side of the train station?
You mean the one that they now have the special signs up that say there's special enforcement and they weekly sweep and throw shit in the... They bring the garbage trucks out and throw shit in the garbage trucks even though they're not supposed to do that?
Like, God, things were horrible for this group of people in the 30s. And in a lot of ways, the world's a better place now. But in some ways, it's just the same, if not worse.
It's interesting. Casey, before he gets killed, and Tom, after Casey's killed and when he's basically just sitting in a culvert all day thinking, they both kind of come to the same conclusion, which is that once you start taking a step forward, that step can't be taken back. You can backslide, but even just trying to take the step is an indication that things are moving forward. Mm-hmm. And I think the way that Tom phrases it in the book is every little broken strike is a sign that the next strike is coming and that progress is being made. So even though you might feel hopeless in the moment, you can know that, like, shit has to get better, because even just thinking that shit can get better is a radical act.
Like, Tom Joad has so many fucking banger lines in this movie.
A lot of his lines are actually taken from other people in the book.
I believe that. Henry Fonda wanted them. But, like, the one that will always sit with me is his last little monologue with Ma. His, I'll be all around in the dark, I'll be everywhere. Wherever you can look, wherever there's a fight so hungry people can eat, I'll be there. Wherever there's a cop beating up a guy, I'll be there. I'll be in the way guys yell when they're mad. I'll be in the way kids laugh when they're hungry and they know supper's ready. And when the people are eating the stuff they raise and living in the houses they build, I'll be there too. Like, that just... Like, I'm about to start something. Like, that's wildly inspiring. Especially in a major motion picture in 1940. That's 2 steps away from hippity hoppity, here comes the choppity. Like,
I want you to talk about McCarthyism in a minute.
Okay, yeah, we'll get there.
Because one of the things that Steinbeck wanted in the first edition of the book was he wanted the full Battle Hymn of the Republic printed. I don't know whether he wanted it as, like, the dedication page or if he wanted it on the end pages. And the publisher was like, we can't do that. We want to protect you from being red scared, basically. Mm-hmm. So the compromise that they reached was they printed just the sheet music on the end papers. Did not work. He 100% got red scared.
Oh, yeah. The Second World War helped Ford and Fonda, but they absolutely got red scared in the 50s because of this movie. Like I mentioned before, there's a scene where they're called Reds, the guys that live in the government camp. Mm-hmm. And that, like, perked my ears up when it happened, because I was like, whoa, this is, like, a full decade before that kicks off.
Mm-hmm. What is a Red? Oh, a Red is somebody who, when he's making 15 cents an hour, he wants to make 20 cents an hour. And then Tom is like, well, I guess that's me then, because, yeah, I want to make enough to feed my family.
Yeah. Like, and no, geez, does this still happen today? Have I been called a communist this month for, I don't know, wanting the government to take care of its citizens? But, the new scare word is socialist.
Oh no, social safety nets?
Oh,
Whatever
God.
shall we do?
All these people cashing in their social security checks complaining about socialist policies. But yeah, it's just like, the more we talk about the themes of this movie and the time in which it was made, like, the more, like, miraculous it is that it exists in the form that it exists in.
Yeah, man.
I found a great source when I was doing my research on this one, and it's, who knew, the American Film Institute.
Huh.
How have I never thought to check their information before?
Is this the first one we've done that's been on there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just the first one that, like, I stumbled on this article and realized it's a new great source for me. But they had a huge section on history. And one of the things they talked about was the Hays Code, because that was something I was really interested in. Because a common thing you see in movies from this time that are under the code, under the Hays Code, production code, whatever you want to call it, basically, bad people have to get their comeuppance. And Tom Joad is a character who is introduced as having killed a man.
And is unrepentant for it.
He basically says, I'd do it again.
He literally says, I'd do it again, multiple times in the book.
Granted, it was I believe the guy pulled a knife on him, stabbed him, so he beat him to death.
In the modern era, he wouldn't have gone to jail at all.
Nah, he was a white man.
He's a white man and it was self-defense, baby.
Yep. But he only did 4 years. He was sentenced to 7, 4 years on good behavior, parole, yada yada. So you introduce a man who's already a murderer, and one of his first conversations with Ma is setting him up to maybe tip over that line again. And he does. He kills a man on screen. And he never goes to jail. He doesn't get got by the good old coppers. He escapes as far as we know. So I did some searching. What did the Hays Code have to say about this movie? And I'll give a caveat first. Part of the contract for buying the rights, Steinbeck insisted that they had a clause that basically said, you need to fairly and reasonably retain the main action and social intent of the book. Which, what a clause to put in there. So, from a contractual standpoint, Fox had to deliver what they delivered. So, according to the file from the production code collection at the AMPUS Library, that's the American Motion Picture Academy of Sciences? The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science?
That sounds right.
The Academy Library. The production code informed Fox that the script was fine. But here's some things we need to address. They need to alter or eliminate anything that characterized Muley as insane. They need to reword certain lines of Rosa Sharn, which refer to Rosa Sharn's pregnancy. They need to remove a toilet gag about Grandma. They need to not mention Tulare County, California specifically, and not identify a town as Pixley specifically. They also suggested that the movie not show Tom killing the deputy in self-defense. To which producer Zanuck replied, if they interfere with this picture, I'm going to take full-page ads in the papers and print our correspondence. Which is like...
It's interesting.
So it conforms, but you want me to change these? Let me see what the people think.
So, the toilet gag, she falls asleep in a toilet at a rest station.
I thought the toilet gag was referring to right before they leave. They're like, where's Grandpa? And... oh, he's probably where he normally is, and one of the kids runs to the outhouse. That's what I thought they meant, but this says grandma?
Yeah, no,
so
she
they must have actually removed that then, because I don't recall that.
Yeah, she falls asleep in an outhouse at a gas station, and she talks about how it was cool in there, and she would have had a nice nap.
I do love the gag with the kids.
And the toilet?
With the toilet, where they think they broke it. He's like, all I did was pull the string! Which...
what were the other things in the Rosa Sharn's pregnancy?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Connie and Rosa Sharn full on have sex in the back of the truck.
Oh, yeah.
While Grandpa is dying.
It's gonna make a terrible joke. That's what killed him. He listened and had one last nut.
Honestly, that probably would have been better for him.
He died of a stroke, or 2, or 3.
Boo.
I'm trying to get you to shoot the Gatorade out your nose.
Boo. What were the other things? I'm trying to think of what they are.
Tulare County and Pixley, California.
I'm trying to remember what happens in there.
It's probably just, like, county seat being part of, like, deputizing people to break strikes and shit like that. I assume it's stuff like that.
So there was actually a libelous reference in the first version of this book.
Oh.
That Steinbeck changed in subsequent editions. It was to Joan Crawford specifically. And later they changed it to so-and-so because it was talking about how she was ugly and mean in real life.
I don't think that's legally actionable because that's a matter of opinion.
Let me see.
Is that notated in the?
It's one of the things. Yes.
That's something I love about like lawsuits and stuff like that. Because as soon as you sue somebody for libel or what have you, you can then just like change your book, like in this case, and then just have in an afterword have some notes and be like earlier editions said this, but we had to remove it for this reason, and then it still gets the same effect. You still get to say the thing you were saying. You just have to admit it's not true.
In the typescript, Steinbeck used the name of a real movie star, Joan Crawford, but later changed it to this far more innocuous and less libelous reference.
Is that why the movie in that one chapter is like probably not a real movie? I wonder.
Maybe, yeah. The other thing is that same chapter, he actually makes an error. He talks about a song called Thanks for the Memory. Was a song by Leo Robin and Ralph Ranger, sung by Bob Hope and Shirley Ross in the Hollywood film The Big Broadcast, which came out in 1938. But Bing Crosby recorded it commercially in 1956. In the book, Steinbeck says Bing Crosby was singing it, but that couldn't have been possible. So it's just one of those little like fun.
Yeah, but it's like
it's something that
it feels like an anachronism until you realize it was a mistake, but he predicted the future.
Well, it was probably a subsequent edition.
Yeah. Want to talk about outside agitators?
Hell yeah, baby.
There's another thing that came up watching this that I was like, ooh, relevant today. It's when the cop shoots the lady. Mm-hmm. He's complaining about this one guy being an outside agitator. And granted, I see where he's coming from. This is California. This dude rolls in with Oklahoma plates and then complains about the work he's being offered. Outside agitator, sure. But you came from outside the camp, riled the people up with promises of labor that you are not going to keep because you're not being honest about pricing.
Yep.
And then you shoot a lady.
Uh-huh.
Who's the real outside agitator? Is it the college student who had a friend from off campus join their protest? Or is it the cop who came in and pepper sprayed everybody?
The cop who was in full riot gear.
In full riot gear. God, I love that scene. The riot scene. The not riot scene.
It's so good.
Like, oh, I wish... I'm not going to say that because it doesn't make sense. But I love that community is like, oh, someone's going to start a fight so that the cops can come in and break it up. We need to make sure that a fight doesn't happen. And the cops are just like, it's so clear that the cops hired these people to start a fight so they can go break shit up.
Yep.
And considering everything else in this novel is relevant today, I wonder, in riots where there are complaints about outside agitators, like in Portland in 2020, if we want to get not too recent, and it just turns out that, feds were there. Feds were in amongst the rioters, and feds were throwing bricks and then arresting people who would also then throw bricks.
So, Nigel Farage just got milkshaked.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say milkshake ducked, and I was like,
you can't.
Nigel, are we talking about the same guy here? No, but he got milkshaked, which means a milkshake thrown on him.
Yes. Beautiful. Love that. That should just happen every week for me.
I love that's a thing the Brits just do.
Yep.
Milkshakes, eggs.
But, you know the whole trans healthcare panic?
The one that's, like, not founded in actual science and is kind of just an excuse that people are using to take the rights away from people in this country? That panic?
Yeah, the same one where they're recycling all of the same things that they said about gay people in the 90s and just applying it to trans kids.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, sure.
So, Michael Hobbs and Aubrey Gordon have a podcast called Maintenance Phase. And I don't remember if this was their Patreon episode this month or if this was their, just their most recent full episode, but it's the quote-unquote debate on trans healthcare. And they dug down into some of it. And, you know that, like, famous article that kind of kicked off all of the fucked up shit in Britain regarding trans healthcare, where it's like, oh, kids are getting healthcare immediately and they're being pushed into transitioning medically and blah, blah, blah?
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking Mumsnet. All of, like, a bunch of the sources and the people were just fucking Mumsnet and known TERFs and transphobes that were being interviewed and pushed in these articles. And there was that other article recently where there was the mom who pretended to be a trans kid while conversing with doctors in order to get healthcare, and it took her 2 years, and then she presented all of her findings as though, oh my gosh, look at what they're doing to these kids. Yeah, like if you fucking lie to your doctors for 2 years, they're gonna be like, yeah, here's your stuff.
Hey, look at all the medical fraud I did. Like, what the fuck? Like,
that's the kind of shit that these cops are doing in this book.
Yeah.
And
just like, oh, they're causing problems as they go in and rile them up until a problem begins.
Yes.
It's so frustrating. I want to make one note on the trans thing. You know how that trans panic cannot really be a panic when the Daily Wire goes, we're going to make a documentary about how easy it is for men to compete in women's sports by pretending to be trans. And then instead they make a fictional movie because no one involved in Daily Wire was willing to actually transition to compete in these leagues, because when they tried just as men in wigs, they were turned away.
Yes.
Almost as if the thing they are saying is happening isn't really happening, and when they tried to prove it, they couldn't, so they made it up anyway.
Or, you know, how white people started losing at sports, so they started doing invasive genital analysis on African women.
I thought you were going to go further back and just didn't let black people play baseball for 50 years.
Oh, well, there's also that, but I'm thinking more about Castor Semenya.
Yeah.
Justice for Castor.
Nah, I've got baseball in the brain the last couple weeks, and I will say, a few decades too late, but Major League Baseball has included the old Negro Leagues as part of the Major League system now. And all of those stats from that era of baseball now includes black players. I think I mentioned that in the last episode, but it's worth repeating. That's fucking great. I still wish they could have played each other, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
That's actually something that's interesting in this book. There are no black people. And you know this was happening to people of color as well.
I wonder if it was a deliberate choice to not include black people in this, because a white audience is going to be more empathetic to a white character. Or sympathetic.
Probably. There is a half Native American fellow who he shows up. He's at the government camp, and Tom is like, "Oh, you're half Indian? You look full Indian." He's like, "Oh man, I wish I was full Indian. Then I could live on the reservation."
Yeah, because things were a little bit better on the reservation, a little bit.
Smidge.
Yeah, in that they were allowed to farm it the way it wasn't good land, but they were allowed to farm it the way they wanted to.
Yeah, they had.
They were less beholden to capital. But I'm not going to speak more on that because I haven't researched it and don't want to speak out of line.
Yeah.
Any other themes, scenes you want to relate to modern day? Because that seems to be how we're doing this one.
I mean, to go back to the women, the way women are handled in this.
Oh, yeah.
Ma is... It's interesting because obviously, like, the Jode family as a whole is the protagonist of the novel. Mm-hmm. But the book really kind of sets you up with Tom and Ma. And that's actually something that, like, you feel the whole book, you know that Ma is, like, the real backbone of the family.
Yeah. And
slowly you kind of see her become the head of the family as Pa sort of fades away. And there's, like, a sarcastic bit at the end where Pa's like, yeah, the women folk are telling people how to run it now and how to do stuff, and there's just nothing I can do about it. And it's like, yeah, dude, you've been fucking useless the whole time.
Yeah. It's kind of hard because the movie didn't delve too deeply into the role of women. It kind of just... Well...
I feel like the movie...
It treats Ma really well. The movie treats Ma so well.
Yeah, like she and...
She's the heart of the movie, for sure.
Yeah, she and Tom are like the deuterogonists.
Yeah. Yeah, like she's the heart and Tom's the head.
And when you were talking about the Hays Code last night, I brought up that I feel like the punishment for Tom is the family separation, because that's what will actually hurt Ma and Tom, is not being allowed to be together.
Yeah. But wherever there's a peach getting picked by somebody who's not making enough money to eat, Tom will be there. Whenever the jalopy breaks down and Ma's gotta get off because she's too heavy, which is a line that slipped past the censors, Tom will be there.
You know what is interesting? When they're picking, when they're doing the farm, the labor, you know what it actually made me think of? Rue in the Hunger Games. Because she talks about when she and Katniss are, like, bonding together, and Katniss is like, oh, I kind of figured you guys would just be, like, well-fed, and Rue is like, well, do you get all the coal you want? I thought about that for the peach picking scenes because they talk about how many peaches they eat. But, like, the danger of eating all of those peaches while you're working is that you get what they delightfully call the skitters.
The shits.
And it's like, yeah, you can eat, like, as many peaches as you can hold and you'll feel full. But also...
all you're eating is fruit.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing holding that together.
Yeah, you got... it's all fiber and sugar, baby. It's gonna run straight through you.
You know, paint that bowl.
And it's just like... it was just interesting that when I was reading that scene, I went to the specifically sold as a dystopia book, and that's what it reminded me of.
I don't want to think too deeply about that. Want to talk about just some fun stuff?
Please.
I didn't grab the whole cast. I only grabbed 3 characters because the movie really trims out a lot of the fat, so to speak. It was directed by John Ford, who directed Stagecoach, The Searchers. He's won 4 Academy Awards, including for this. A legendary Western director. It was written by Nunnally Johnson, who also wrote How to Marry a Millionaire and The Dirty Dozen. Tom Joad was played by Henry Fonda, who was in, I think he was in 12 Angry Men, and he was nominated for an Oscar for this, and didn't receive another acting nomination for 41 years.
On Golden Pond?
When he won on Golden Pond. 41 years, which I think is the longest between acting noms for in history. Ma Jode was played by Jane Darwell, who did win for this. She and John Ford won this movie's 2 Oscars. She was a studio character actress. So her credits list is like 170 movies, and this is the only one that she was ever nominated for, that she got like a glowing reviews for, that kind of thing. But she was in Gone with the Wind. She was in My Darling Clementine. She was around. I think she carries this movie. She's fucking incredible in it. And the other name I grabbed was Jim Casey, was John Carradine.
That's a tough character to play.
It's a tough character to play. I want to see our friend Mark play it. Because I think his perspective on that character would be fascinating.
You'd be Tom Joad, of course.
Can I be Al?
Honey, I think you're a little too old to play Al.
Can I be Pa?
Too old to play Al, too young to play Pa. You gotta be Tom, baby.
I don't want to be the hero. John Carradine, another one of those actors with like hundreds of credits. He played Dracula in the 1940s in like the sequels.
Okay.
He was also in the Ten Commandments, and he also fathered multiple Carradines, including Keith Carradine, who I just saw in McCabe and Mrs. Miller right before recording.
So, okay, you mentioned that 2 of them are studio contracts. Mm-hmm. Was Henry Fonda a studio contract?
So, Henry Fonda, at that point in his career, in the mid to late 30s, wanted to remain independent. He didn't want to sign a studio contract. He wanted to pick his own pictures. And then he read The Grapes of Wrath. And then he read that Fox had picked up the rights. And he desperately wanted to play Tom Joad. So he signed a studio contract. And it was either for 7 years or for 7 pictures or both. I saw differing... Some sources said 7 years, some said 7 pictures. But he signed a decent contract with Fox so that he could play Tom Joad. That takes some fucking, like, cojones.
When you know what you want.
Yeah. He wasn't the only actor considered, however.
Okay.
We love us some alternate casts. They requested... This is... So if you aren't familiar with the contract era, it's like modern professional wrestling. Where an actor is contracted to a studio and can only work on that studio's pictures, unless they're a free agent like Fonda was. So 20th Century Fox actually tried to loan Spencer Tracy to play Tom Joad.
Okay.
They also looked at Cary Grant and James Cagney. I can't see anyone but Fonda.
No,
I can't. He's perfect.
Cary Grant's too pretty. I know that he plays, Wait, I think I'm confusing him. Who am I confusing him with?
Cary Grant?
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart?
No. Jimmy Stewart could have done it, but he's too nice.
Jimmy Stewart was originally going to play Al.
How old was he at that time?
He's younger. Like, he was a name, but he wasn't Jimmy Stewart yet. He would have been 32.
That's too old.
For Al?
Al's supposed to be like 18.
Yeah, but 18 looked 30 back then. Let me see. I'm curious what he was... He hadn't really worked before this.
Jimmy Stewart?
Yeah. Oh, no, he had. What am I saying?
Who plays the guy in...
He did the Philadelphia Story the same year. With Cary Grant. So that's what they were doing.
Who's the guy in fucking Gone with the Wind?
Oh, shit. Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
You were thinking Clark Gable, not Cary Grant.
I was thinking Clark Gable, not Cary Grant.
Yeah.
Cary Grant is too... I mean, both of them are too pretty, but...
Yeah, I think Cary Grant could have done it. Like, he's the only one of those, like, 4 that I would want to see. Actually, Spencer Tracy, too. He has that range. But, I don't know.
You need someone that's a little dirty. You need someone that grimes up good. You need like a Henry Cavill.
You need like a Henry Fonda.
Yeah. Henry Fonda, Henry Cavill. You know who would have done a great job? Viggo Mortensen.
Oh my god, yes. Actually, yes. 100% yes.
You want to hear a factoid that made my heart hurt?
No. But you're going to tell me anyway.
Viggo Mortensen now is the same age Ian McKellen was when the first Lord of the Rings movies were being made.
You can leave.
Sorry, Sir Ian McKellen.
I don't want you here anymore.
My name's on the least, bitch.
Fuck you. You know what else we like alongside alternate casts?
Menaces?
A little on-set menace.
Was it the children? Were the children menaces?
It wasn't the children, it was John Ford.
Oh, no.
Engaging in a little method directing.
Sir.
I have 2 examples. Uncle John, played by Frank Darien, got chewed out so bad after a take that just he was barely like he could barely stand. He was so exhausted and just emotionally drained. And then they did one more take and used that. It's the stew scene. And then Rosa Sharon, Doris Bowden was either dating or married to the screenwriter. So John Ford would take a lot out on her, including at one point berating her so badly because she applauded a performance. I think it was Ma during the dance scene at the government camp. And she applauded, and she got berated so badly she left the set crying. Years later, she actually did specify that she appreciated the way that he directed in some ways because of how good the performances were out of everybody on set. And we're talking about, like I said, dude won 4 Oscars. So
something that you mentioned they kind of like trimmed a lot for the movie, which obviously the version of the book that I have, not including the supplemental materials, is over 400 pages long. It's 450 pages long.
I'm aware. That's why I read Farewell to Arms.
The original version of it was 619 pages long.
Jesus Christ.
So one of the things that you don't get is the backstory of Uncle John and why he is the way he is.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason he is the way he is because he was married years before. And his wife, one day, she was pregnant and she didn't feel well. And she told John, my stomach hurts, I don't feel well. And he's like, you just ate too much, you'll be fine. And the way that it's described is in the morning, she had a fever and was already kind of like going out of her mind the way you do when you have a high fever. And she was dead by 4 o'clock that afternoon.
Jesus.
And he felt that he killed her by not getting a doctor. So that's why he is the way he is because he had a family, lost it, and he's kind of tried to atone for it with his entire life since then.
Yeah. I just want to say thank God that 90 years later, if a woman goes to a doctor and says, I don't feel good, the doctor doesn't just say, you ate too much and send her home.
You're right.
Oh, wait.
You're right. He doesn't say you ate too much. He tells her, lose some weight and see me again.
Yeah. Some things never change, man.
More things change, the more they stay the same.
You know, I've been really hard on capitalism tonight. You know who else is hard on capitalism? The Soviet Union. They loved this movie.
What?
They loved this movie because it showed how much capitalism can just ruin people's lives. And then they banned the movie because people would see it and go, man, even in America, even the poorest in America can afford a car and go where they want to go.
Oh no! That's the wrong message to take.
Well, I just thought I'd share that. Yes, we'll show our people how terrible capitalism is. They can get a car? They can't even eat, but they can drive? They can just go somewhere? Oh, shit.
I do love how this book is literally like, gas is so cheap, it's basically whatever. You get 100 free gallons of gas with this car.
Oh my god. Oh, that, you know what? That makes the scene where they buy just a gallon, like, so much more weighty. Because gas was dirt cheap back then.
Yeah, I think they said it was, I think they talked about how the most expensive they saw it was, I think once they got into needles, it was like 20 cents a gallon.
If I could pay 20 cents a gallon for gas now, I'd happily pay it.
I remember when gas was under $2.
I vaguely do. I remember the first time I paid $4, and it was summer of 2008. It was when I went to Creation. And now I regularly pay like $5.25.
Needles. when I first...
Was it still the most expensive gas?
At this point, no. But I want to say we crossed the desert, and it's the last stop before you do the rest of the desert.
It's probably the same fucking gas station. Did the guys come out in the white with their bow ties?
No. But it was on Route 66. We stopped at a Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, still there from 1939.
$4.95. And this was in 2014.
Yeah, so gas here was like $3.60.
Yeah. It was a solid $2 more expensive.
Yeah, damn. I wonder what gas is in needles now.
Oof. $7.
I'm actually gonna search it because I am fucking curious. Give me them deets, gas buddy. Give me them deets.
Give me them deets, boy.
Break my soul. Wanna put gas in my car's butthole and drive away.
What is the gas level?
Have you seen a gas tank in the front of a car?
I don't know. One of the Teslas probably has it there because they're stupid.
The gas tank?
Yes.
In the Tesla?
Yes.
It's just shy of $6. Nothing crazy.
Oh, okay.
Not too much more than here. So this isn't the first film we did from 1940. We did Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca.
Oh, yes.
Which, what a shame, they came out the same year for old John Ford. John Ford directed 2 movies this year that were nominated for Best Picture. Grapes of Wrath and The Long Voyage Home. Okay. And Rebecca won.
Yeah.
The year-end poll from the Film Daily of 546 critics nationwide ranked Grapes of Wrath the number 2 movie of 1940, behind Rebecca. Just real 1-2 punch of that year.
I mean, of the 2 books, I do think I prefer Grapes of Wrath. It's a little chunky, but the writing, I enjoy Steinbeck's writing.
His prose is good.
He is what Hemingway thought he was.
The only issue I have with Steinbeck's prose, and it might just be specific to this, is it slows me down when he writes out what they're saying phonetically. So there's a lot of apostrophes, and I get what he's doing, and it just takes me so long to read a line of dialogue, just because of the tism brain trying to read it.
See, I actually was going to say that I like that. I don't normally like that, but for him, because he has clearly put the effort into it.
Oh, yeah. It's not like he's doing it out of malice or poorly. It's just, it's 100% a me thing.
Yeah, because it's literally like looking at the page and looking at the hearing the dialogue from the movie. I know exactly what that dialogue looks like on the page.
So, number 2 movie in the year. Number 2 movie of 1940, according to critics. One of the critics is a guy named Frank Nugent. He was a New York Times reviewer. He basically called it, one of cinema's masterworks at the time, which, yeah.
He's not wrong.
He regularly would give negative reviews to Zanuck's movies.
Uh-huh.
So upon reading this glowing review, Nugent was offered a job at 20th Century Fox to write screenplays. And he took it. And he ended up collaborating with John Ford on The Searchers.
Oh!
Now, not only is The Searchers a classic in its own right, The Searchers is the movie that influenced, I want to say it's the new Hollywood era, and it's all the USC kids, so it's Spielberg was influenced by The Searchers. And it was written by this guy who only got his job as a screenwriter because he liked The Grapes of Wrath.
There's an argument to be made that a lot of modern literature wouldn't exist without Grapes of Wrath and Steinbeck in general. Like, the list goes from fucking Ursula K. Le Guin to Edward Albee. Like,
yeah, like, I do love that we came across an absolute touchstone in both mediums with this one, because like you said, like it's a touchstone for American literature, shaped American literature, built American literature was Steinbeck in this novel. Meanwhile, John Ford built American cinema. He was so influential at that time. And between that Frank Nugent story, The Searchers, and how that influenced an entire generation, which has influenced the current generation working. Like, how many directors are labeled the new Spielberg? And Spielberg was so influenced by the movie directed by the same director as this, and written by a guy who fucking loved this movie. Like, how perfect you have to get things on a film to have that level of impact down the decades. And I love that we can, like, we're far enough removed from it now, it's, 84 years, that we can see those layers of impact, the rippling effect of that. And I love that it still holds up today, and it's still, like, prudent today.
There's a quote from Steinbeck himself, written while he was writing the book. If I could do this book properly, it would be one of the really fine books and a truly American book, but I am assailed with my own ignorance and inability. If I can do that, it will be all my lack of genius can produce, for no one else knows my lack of ability the way I do. I'm pushing against it all the time. Greatest novel in American history.
So, do you recommend the book?
I do. It is long. It's pretty dense. I actually borrowed the physical copy from the local library. I think the copy I have is the Penguin Classics copy. I also, if you have Spotify Premium, the audiobook is on there as part of Premium. That's the version that I listen to supplemental to reading it.
Support your local libraries, though.
Yes, support the libraries.
Support the government institution that wants to give you things for free, and not the corporation who is only going to give it to you for free if they can then sell your data.
Fair enough.
But it's on Spotify Premium. If your library don't have it.
Yes, I could not get the audiobook, which is why
this is an important enough piece of literature that I still want people to listen to it or read it however you can.
Yes. The version of the book that I read, they actually have a little note in here. I want to say it's the 56 version of the text. Special 50th anniversary edition, so 89. So this is actually the original text published in 39 that was reissued in 89.
Cool.
Yeah. So yes, I do recommend it. It is dense. It contains periods period specific slurs.
Oh boy.
And it's going to take you a minute to get into the rhythm of it, but once you get into it, it's a strong novel. If you like Steinbeck, you're going to like the novel.
Yeah. I mean, if you like Steinbeck, you've read Grapes of Wrath. It's usually people's entry point.
I feel like Of Mice and Men is the entry point.
That's the other one.
Because that's the shorter one. What about you? You recommend the movie?
So, I have found it hard this entire time to get my thoughts out. Because there's so many things I want to say about this movie that all the thoughts just Three Stooge themselves.
They just get stuck.
They just get stuck in the doorway in my mind, and they can't get out. And then I sound like a fool because whatever little stupid words sneak through, like, is what comes out. This movie is brilliant. It is a 5-star classic. It's one of the first batch of movies that was entered into the National Film Registry?
Yes.
Is that the one? When they first found that in, I think, 89, it was one of the first 25 movies they put in there. The performances are stellar. The directing is stellar. The story is incredible. It still means something today. Every scene, you can glean something from today. But even though it's been 84 years and it feels like not a lot has changed, it still tells the story so powerfully and so, like, influentially that it still gave me hope watching it again. That maybe we can work together and we can make a difference, and even when the shit fucking hits the fan, we're gonna rally, our communities are gonna rally around, and we're gonna, because that's essentially what man is we are going to help our fellow man. Capitalists be damned. They can grind us down, but they will not break us. And one day we'll tear the whole structure down. And Tom Joad will be there.
We're all part of one soul.
Should update my notes because it says, what pop culture ghost do you want on your baseball team? And I did not write what the next episode is down. I don't have an audience participation thing. Give us your modern cast. Who would you cast as Tom Joad and Ma Joad now?
Yeah.
Because you said Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
I'll throw, oh my god. Oh my god, what's her fucking name?
Helen Mirren?
No. There's a perfect one, and you're gonna agree. Kathy Bates as Ma.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
But,
Kathy Bates and Adam Sandler.
What the fuck Grapes of Wrath would that be? And they took it seriously, too.
Oh, yeah. 100%. It would be like Uncut Gems.
Oh, my butthole just clenched thinking of that movie. If you think you can do better than Viggo Mortensen / Adam Sandler and Kathy Bates, give us your...
was not a serious suggestion.
Give us your Ma's, give us your Toms, give us a good pairing. Let us know who you would cast in the year of our Lord 2024.
Throw in Reverend Casey too. Throw in
Casey.
If
you got a good Casey shout, let us know. Willem Dafoe.
Ooh.
Might be a bit too old.
No, that's solid.
But Willem Dafoe has the crazy eyes.
Because he would have to be an adult when Tom Joad was a kid. So.
Yeah, but also adult meant something different in 1930s Oklahoma.
Fair.
12 was adult as long as you hit puberty. So yeah, send us your stuff. Our email address is soonmajorpod@gmail.com. Our link tree is in the description of this episode, linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. You can find all of our socials there, as well as that email address. And next time around, we're sticking with our summer reading series.
I know.
We switched the orders a little bit from what we did last week.
Yes, and that's my fault, or my decision, because reading this book, I was like, man, this would dovetail really nicely with one of the books that we had scheduled for 2 weeks from now.
George Orwell's 1984.
AKA, what if we all gave up and let capitalism win?
And if you are going to search out the film, there are a bunch. I'm going to stick with the 1984 so that I can remember which 1984 we're all watching. The 1984 one.
Say 1984 again.
1984. It's like when they did that fucking Roland Emmerich 2012 movie in 2012, because it was the 1 year he could do it. Like, I get that you're going to make, like, a 1984 in 1952, because, like, the novel sold well, but really, like, as it was going, like, you know, they paid a lot of money for the